burst in a fire, burn a thirst and desire. You transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn a thirst and desire. You transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Game Week 32 KNEEJERK stream. First one we've done for a while. So it's been so long, I can't even remember how to do them. Long time since we did one. It's 453 hours, 45 minutes, and 55 seconds until the deadline at the time of recording. So don't panic too much about what your decisions are going to be this week, because it doesn't matter right now. There is 2 weeks of international break. There is 2 weeks of international break. Then there's FA Cup games. Then there's European games. And then why is the volume so low? I don't even understand it. I haven't changed anything since last time. It's really low. I can see it, and I don't know why. I really don't know why. I don't think there's much I can do to change it now either, to be honest. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just low, and I don't know. Oh, I do know why, I think. Hang on. What a great start this is. This is going to be awful to listen back to. Hang on. Oh, how do I change it, though? I don't know how. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, hopefully that should be a little bit louder now. Can you hear me better now? Anyway, 453 hours to the deadline. Lots of football to come before FPL is back. So this is going to be a very chill stream. Just watched the Carabao Cup final. Congratulations to Man City. Arsenal were terrible for pretty much the whole game. I probably need to get Semenyo if Man City double, basically. Let me just turn this up a tiny bit more, and then I'm going to leave it. I don't want to keep messing around with it all stream. Yeah, lots of people asking already, am I going to Wildcard? Probably. I suspect so, but I'm going to wait until the FA Cup games are played. Because let's say, for example, that Chelsea and Arsenal lost, which they probably won't, but let's say they did, then all of a sudden there's hardly any doubles, and my team looks fine for 32, so I'd probably save it. Am I looking forward to the crucial Ireland match on Thursday? I'm definitely going to be watching them. Actually, I don't know if I will be watching it. I will do my best to watch it, but hopefully it'll be fine. Which teams are going to double? So probably Arsenal, Newcastle, Chelsea, Brighton, Man City, Burnley, but it could be Liverpool and Palace instead of Man City and Burnley. So, and it depends who wins in the FA Cup as well, but that's the most likely, I would say. I've watched all the games today, actually. I watched Newcastle, Sunderland, then I watched Spurs lose 3-0 to Forest, and then I watched Arsenal, Man City. Arsenal were just really bad for pretty much the whole game, I would say. All this faffing about with keepers, and we all should have just set and forget Pickford for a 3rd season in a row. It's so funny people say that, because isn't Raya the top scoring goalkeeper? Yeah, by 3 points. Now, I think Raya's played an extra game, to be fair. But it's so funny. Like, Pickford's so good every season, we should just set and forget him. And then when people talk about Raya, yeah, but Raya only scores 2 or 6 points, and yet Raya's outscoring him. It's so funny how people talk about them differently. What about West Ham Leeds double? They probably won't double. That's the word on the street from the fixture gurus. They reckon that whoever wins from that game, it will just stay in game week 34. For what it's worth, if you're out of Europe, it could stay in 34. So even Chelsea are not guaranteed to double in 33, even if they win. Will I be wildcarding O'Reilly in as well as Semenyo? Well, this is why talking about FPL right now is almost kind of pointless. Because it depends, right? If Liverpool beat Man City, then no. If not, if City beat Liverpool, then yes, probably. I would say it'd be 3 of O'Reilly, Gay, Semenyo, and Haaland. 3 of those, basically. Wanted to do Salah to Gordon, but I missed the deadline by 3 minutes. Ouch. Yeah, I made that move. Obviously, Gordon got a 10-pointer, so that was quite nice. So I'm up to 750 now, roughly, in the world, give or take. We'll have to wait until FPL updates, but I'm about 750. Got 67 points this week. No, don't do the whole 6-7 thing. We're grown adults. Come on. So, yeah, pretty good week for me in the end. It started off so bad, but actually, in the end, it was pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Shame that Mbermo just can't get points anymore. Solanke straight swap to Welbeck. So Welbeck probably plays against Burnley, but he probably only starts 1 game if they double. Have you built a 32 wildcard based on projections? I've found 33 looks fine, but not great fixtures for the bench boost. But 32 looks awful. I wouldn't say 30. Well, for my team, the wildcard team, I wouldn't say it looks awful compared to my normal team, but it's not miles better. That's for sure. I do think if Liverpool end up beating Man City, and they are away from home, so City will be favourites, but if Liverpool end up winning that game, I think I'm definitely wildcarding a bench boost in 33, like 100%, because then you get to pick Palace players as well as Liverpool ones, and that just feels better than picking City players and the Burnley ones, right? You wouldn't go for any Burnley ones on wildcard apart from maybe Dubravka. And so it means you've got to pick more from like Brighton and Chelsea and stuff like that. So if Liverpool win, I'm definitely wildcarding, I think. What does your current wildcard team look like? Could you show us? I'm not going to go too much into showing you wildcard teams on this stream, to be honest with you. But I will definitely go for Bruno Fernandes, and I will probably turn him into Palmer in game week 33. If City win, I'll start with Haaland and 2 others. So Gay, O'Reilly, Semenyo. I'd probably have Van Heck. Goalkeepers, I reckon Raya and Dubravka. I don't know if I will risk Donnarumma. I just think I wouldn't put it past Pep to play Trafford at some point, especially when the league is over. Now, to be fair, Arteta could just play Kepa instead of Raya, so it's not a guarantee. But I just think there's no chance of Raya coming out of that team. Whereas Trafford was pretty good today, so you never know, right? Now, for what it's worth, there's no scaremongering going on here. Donnarumma will almost certainly just start every single game. But I might go for Raya. Also, Raya and Gay is cheaper than Donnarumma and Timber. And obviously, Timber, we're not even sure if he's going to be fully fit for game week 32. Probably will be, but we'll have to wait and see. And then Gordon and maybe a few other players. Lewis Hall, potentially. Leeds are tough defensively. Why captain Bruno? Are they that tough defensively? I mean, Man United are at home. Bruno's great. Like, why not captain Bruno? Really? Like, okay. Here's a better question for you. If you're not captaining Bruno, who are you captaining this week? I mean, I've put in the captaincy graphics Thiago second choice and Gabriel third. I didn't give that much thought, to be honest. But when I had a quick look at the fixtures before I went live, there ain't many good captaincy options this week. Like, Fernandes is 100% locked in as game week 32 captain. There is no changing that whatsoever. Outside of Bruno, who's been your star performer for your team this year? I mean, Dewsbury Hall's been great when I owned him. Jared Bowen, sure, but he's not better than Bruno, right? Chow. Come on, no one's captaining Chow. He just got benched. Haaland, surely. No chance would I captain. Haaland, really? Like, are you being serious now? Haaland away to Chelsea instead of Bruno at home to Leeds. Like, how good do you think Leeds are? Seriously, come on. If your team looks good in 32 but not good in 33, what's the strategy? I've got 4 free transfers. Maybe wildcard? It depends on your bench boost, really, whether you wildcard this week or not. Like, you could free hit 33, wildcard afterwards. You could wildcard 33, free hit later. A lot of which way round you go will depend on which players you want to hold long term. Like the team that you would wildcard into in 32 is actually quite good for the rest of the season based on fixtures. But are you happy carrying like 2 or 3 Brighton? And what happens to Chelsea and Arsenal once the league is over, etc.? I'll be honest, if Man City win in the FA Cup, I still think I'll wildcard, but it will make me more keen on free hit 33, I think. I just don't like the team that I'm going to wildcard into. But at some point, I've got to use it, and I want to target the doubles, so I've got no choice but to use wildcard or free hit. Thoughts on free hit 33, wildcard 34? Yeah, it all works. Like you're either wildcarding before the double or after, essentially, and you're either free hitting the double or free hitting the blank. Both can work, especially if you've used your bench boost already. Like I don't really have a strong opinion on which one is better. Not right now, anyway. That'll probably depend on the FA Cup results. I like the idea of wildcarding after the first double to set up for the rest of the season and the second double that we'll have in 36. But if you've got a bench boost to play, it kind of makes sense to get that bench boost using 33, probably. Planning to captain either Bruno or Thiago. Yeah, exactly. Like it's going to be Bruno for pretty much everyone. Wildcard in a blank doesn't feel optimal. Well, if you've got no players, then it could be pretty good. Especially, so in the situation where Liverpool beat Man City, then Man City would have Burnley away in 34 and a double game week probably in 36 against Palace. So actually, wildcarding in the blank might not be terrible. Why not wildcard in the double with a great team next game week? When do you play your bench boost, though? Any concerns for Rodgers' minutes? Not really. I know he came off before the 80th minute today, but that doesn't happen very regularly. Chow for game week 32 has to be a bit of a concern. Put it this way, if I'm only going for one Newcastle defender or a wildcard, I'll probably just go for Lewis Hall now. I suspect that Chow will just come in and carry on playing most games as he has done all season, but why take the risk? If you've got Chow in your team, I would just hold him. And we're not captaining Brobby against Tottenham. I mean, honestly, like, this isn't a dig at the fans whatsoever, because I think what the fans did before the Spurs game was pretty cool, because given how bad Spurs have been, they could have easily just not done that. But to, like, have a pre-game that was basically like a cup final and then to lose 3-0 at home to Forest is just unbelievably Spurs. Honestly, and they were pretty bad for most of the game. Like they even put out that video on Twitter, right? Social media from Romero, and then to lose 3-0. I mean, it's just funny. It just is funny, and like it's not. It really isn't a dig at the fans because fair play to them, but the Spurs team, oh my days. Spurs are going down. I wouldn't say for sure they're going down. Obviously, there's a chance, but West Ham didn't get points today, so it's all pretty tight still. Semenyo or Gordon for game week 32. Honestly, Gordon will be one of the first players on my wildcard team before Semenyo. Now, the fact that Semenyo started a Carabao Cup final, played well, I suspect his minutes will continue to be pretty good going forward, but he's still a City player, right? So you're never quite sure. Gordon will continue starting every game. He's on penalties. He's playing number 9 right now. He'll be one of the first names on my wildcard. Chow was rested by Eddie Howe. Did he say that, though? I mean, it's a weird game to rest someone in, by the way. If I didn't sell Haaland to Ekitike, I'd have an extra transfer and Krupi's 5 points. Yeah, I mean, if I hadn't bought Salah and Ekitike, I mean, I would have actually probably had Chow this week, which wouldn't have been good, but I'd have an extra transfer and I wouldn't have lost 12 points the week before. Just check the odds on Southampton and Port Vale to win, 276 to 1. Yeah, this is the thing, right? I've said this a few times on Twitter. I think it's almost inevitable that I will wildcard this week, because I'll want to bench boost in game week 33, and the chances are that Arsenal and Chelsea will win, and obviously one of Man City or Liverpool will win as well. But I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of price changes, so I'm going to just wait, basically. But yeah, I mean, strange things happen in football, right? What single game weekers would you keep if you don't have a wild card? Thiago, Dango. I mean, Bruno almost certainly. Thiago's also a pretty good hold, I would say. Dango, I'd be less worried about him. And not to say that he's a must sell because it's Everton at home and he'll probably start. But if you needed to sell him for a doubler, I'd be up for that. I think Thiago and Bruno nailed on 90-minute penalty takers. Pretty good single game weekers to hold, I think. The roller coaster of emotions from owning Chow. Yeah, I know. Scored the goal, got ruled out, and then concedes twice after coming on as a sub, so finishes on a 0-pointer. Yeah, a lot of people are saying they think Chow was benched because of how badly he played against Barcelona. Like, it's hard to know. I haven't seen anything about Eddie Howe saying it was just a rest, but I might have just missed it. It's surprising that Haaland has 0 cup final goals for City. That is a little bit surprising, yes. But also, I wonder if you went back all the top number 9s in history, I wonder how many cup final goals they've all got. Because most finals are probably quite cagey, right? Or is that just nonsense? But I feel like a lot of them are. Like, they're kind of low scoring. And how many cup finals do you play, right? You can only play a maximum of like 3 all season. So I think it's one of those stats that gets thrown at players as if like you're not a big game player. But I suspect there's lots of really amazing players in history that just don't have a huge amount, to be honest. Drogba has 12. Wow, okay. Henry has 0. There you go. I haven't fact checked that, so I'll assume it's correct. But yeah. By the way, obviously I'm not saying no player in the history of football has had lots of final goals, but yeah, I don't know if it's that surprising, but it's still a little bit surprising, I guess. With Wildcard 32 more likely, is there a large benefit to play the chip now for funds? Well, yeah, because you might need the money, right? I mean, I've put a Wildcard draft together earlier that had like 0.1 million spare or something. But if you're not sure about it, then just leave the money. There's always an alternative. What FA Cup results make Wildcard 32 suboptimal? Well, if you've used your bench boost, it might be suboptimal for you. And if Arsenal or Chelsea lose, that could be bad. Or if the games don't get moved, that could be bad as well. Absolute nonsense. Look at Ronaldo and Messi's. I mean, now you're comparing like 2 of the best players that have ever lived. Come on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure with the teams that are out of Europe, the game can just stay in Game Week 34. So City and Burnley are both out of Europe, so that game doesn't have to move from Game Week 34. Now, the fixture gurus think it will, and I trust them. They're much better at this than me. But obviously, if it doesn't move, then Wildcard 32 is going to be pretty bad for a lot of people, I would say. Yes, again, I'm not saying no player has ever scored, has never scored in a final. I'm just saying it's one of those things that get thrown at players, but there must be lots of great players that have just not scored many goals in finals. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying no player has never scored in a final. Otherwise, games wouldn't get won, right? How many transfers are needed for Palace players post 34? I think that depends on whether they're still in Europe, to be honest. Because they're not going to get relegated, right? And if they go further in Europe, they might start rotating in the Premier League. So in theory, like if Liverpool beat City, I would go for 3 Palace players because they double in 33 and then probably 36. But if they don't double in 33, I won't get any on wildcard. So I might bring in like 1 or 2 later, but probably not 3. If your wildcard draft had 0.1 left, why not use it now? Because I might not want to go for that team. Like Liverpool might not win, in which case the City team might be easier to build. For many reasons I've already spoken about in the stream, like the fixtures might not go where we think they're going to go. There's always an alternative. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to worry about like 0.1, 0.2 million. Like, imagine if the fixture's fallen away where wildcard's rubbish and I activated it for 0.1 or 0.2 million. It'd just be... For what it's worth, by the way, if the fixtures do fall in a way where wildcard 32 becomes rubbish, then the rest of the season is probably going to be quite boring because it means there's not that many doubles. But again, it's just... I'm just going to wait, basically. If I'm sat here in nearly 3 weeks' time and not able to have the team I want because of 0.1 million, then you can moan at me then. Are Chelsea picks a concern going forward? Not really. I mean, apart from FA Cup, they've got nothing else to play for. If they double, I mean, they're a concern in that they haven't done that well recently, but if they double, I'm just going to pick them anyway, to be honest. So, a concern in what sense? A concern to the point where I won't pick them? Not really. Would Cherky be better than Enzo if they both double? I mean, debatable, right? Does Cherky definitely start? I mean, he played really well today, but it's they're a Man City. Sorry, he's a Man City player, so the minutes are there with Enzo. I mean, look, people are frustrated with Enzo. People wanted to sell Enzo to Wilson and Gordon in game week 31, even though he had a fixture. I mean, he came really close to scoring. If it wasn't for such a good Pickford save, Enzo would have scored. People would be less frustrated. So right now, if I had to pick one, Enzo or Cherky, I'd probably take Enzo just for the guaranteed minutes. But Cherky has crossed my mind. I just hate going for Man City attackers. Is Krupi first choice penalty taker? I don't think anyone can say that for sure. Because Tavernier took one when Krupi was on the pitch before. This time Krupi took one over Tavernier. I think it's difficult to know. Thoughts on Bowen after a disappointing performance there? I didn't watch the game because I was watching Spurs instead. But it's Wolves at home. So probably just keep him. Is it 100% confirmed that West Ham Leeds won? Nothing's 100% confirmed with the fixtures yet. Like the FA Cup games haven't been played. The fixtures haven't been rescheduled, so nothing is 100%. Do you know when the doubles will be confirmed? No, but it can't happen until after the FA Cup games, unless the Premier League is going to make a preliminary, like an earlier announcement. But I doubt they will do that. There's almost no real reason to do that, I don't think. How certain are you to have O'Reilly in your team going forward? I mean, if City don't double, probably won't have him at all until they do later on. Why isn't Haaland a captaincy shot? I mean, you can captain Haaland against Chelsea if you want, but yeah, provisional. Sorry, not preliminary. Yeah, go for it. I mean, the thing is, Chelsea leaky, yes, but I mean, what has Haaland done recently or for a long time to make you want to captain him? Now, I'm not someone that necessarily makes all their decisions based on what's happened recently. Like, I think Haaland's fine. I would definitely have him on a wildcard team if City double, but there's no chance I'm captaining him over Bruno. Like, Bruno couldn't be any more locked, I think, for captaincy. Do you think the true fair foul was a penalty? On Ahmad, all I will say is it was no less or more of a penalty than the one Man United got given against them. And if that penalty had been given, the Maguire red card doesn't happen. Do you not still fear not having Semenyo? Not really. Because either City will double, in which case I can get him in, or they won't, in which case I don't really care. I mean, maybe when I free hit in game week 34, if they've got Burnley away, then I'll put him in. But it's Chelsea away this week. And then it's Arsenal in game week 33. So, and yes, I know City have just beaten Arsenal and Semenyo played very well, but it doesn't mean the same thing will happen again. Like, Arsenal defence is still excellent. Evan Nilsson was through on goal. Yeah, again, like, please listen to what I'm saying. I haven't, honestly, Twitter just gives me a headache. Like, at no point did I say it wasn't a penalty. And yet that's all people kept throwing back at me. I never said the Evan Nilsson one wasn't a penalty. All I said was the first one was no more or less of a penalty. I.e., if the Evan Nilsson one's given, so should the Man United one. And then if that first one's given, the Evan Nilsson one never happens and Maguire stays on the pitch and Man United probably win the game. As a United fan, the foul on Ahmad isn't a pen and the Bournemouth pen is a pen. Yeah, again, I'm not saying it's not a pen. I'm just saying the foul is no different to the Ahmad one. If anything, I think the Ahmad one, there was more force. Even though the force, like, I think the Bournemouth one that was softer, to be honest. Like the contact from Maguire. It's a yes or no. Do you think? I think the Ahmad one's a penalty if the Evan Nilsson one is 100%. In which case, the Evan Nilsson one never happens. Wildcard 24 went well for most, it seems. 27k to 1.5k. Very nice. Yeah, I mean, most of you would have had João Pedro and Palmer, right? What do you think of Bruno getting the assist? I mean, it was a pretty clear assist, to be honest. I mean, I also thought that Mamadashvili was a pretty clear assist, but I didn't realise because it was a pass, it doesn't count. But yeah, the Bruno one was a clear assist straight away. Can you show us your best wildcard team? Yes, once we've... But not tonight, sorry. How would waiting for FA Cup games really help? I've already discussed that quite a lot already. Who are the best two goalkeepers on Wildcard 32? The main two I've looked at are probably... Well, again, it depends who wins, right? If Liverpool win, then I'll probably go Henderson and Verbruggen. If Man City win, I'll probably go Raya and Dubravka and just stick to what I've got right now. You wildcarded in 24 and you didn't have Palmer or How did you wildcard in... Sorry, I don't want to like rub it in, but how did you wildcard in 24 ahead of Chelsea's great fixture run and not have Palmer or João Pedro? Did I miss something? Was there other Chelsea players to pick? Enzo, obviously, I guess. This nub, do people still... They still use that word? Really say that was a clear... I mean, if you know the rules, it was a clear assist. Like, I don't know. I don't really know what the problem is with the Fernandes assist. He crosses the ball, one defensive touch, then a goal. It's an assist, like, by the rules. Now, I doubt Bruno Fernandes gets that as an assist outside of FPL, but for FPL rules, it's a pretty clear assist, to be honest. What about Villa's double if they reach the EUEL final? I think... If Liverpool reach the FA Cup final and Villa reach the semi-finals in Europe, I'm pretty sure there will be a double in 36 for them, but I might be wrong on that. Are you likely to make any moves ahead of time or wait to the deadline? Well, once the FA Cup games have been done, we can make a big decision. Because I might wildcard. Isn't it better to lock in the wild? Yeah, again, I've already answered these questions about wildcard. But Senesi passed the ball to Hill. Yeah, but it wasn't a pass, right? Palmer was a rotation risk back then. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I'd have to go back and look at the videos around wildcard to see if I would have gone for Palmer, but I feel like... I mean, I would have definitely had João Pedro, surely. You have to have had one of João Pedro or Palmer. Free hit 33 looks good if you can navigate 34 with transfers. Wildcard 35, bench boost 36. Yeah, that can definitely work. The bench in 36 is probably going to be worse than 33, though. But not definitely. Because I don't think that people will necessarily have 15 doublers in 33. I think you can, but not guaranteed. Oh, you had Thiago instead of João Pedro. Okay, maybe I did. Okay, do you know what? You might be correct there. In which case, I'm an idiot, and I'm glad I didn't wildcard in 24. Do we need Bruno on wildcard 32? I will go for Bruno because I want to captain him this week. Do I think Spurs will be relegated? Probably not. I suspect West Ham will end up just going down. But it's very close, and West Ham have generally been playing pretty well recently. Mbeumo has been a disappointment. Surely Ahmad and Šeško get starts now. I don't see it. I think Mbeumo just continues to play. You can't have 15 doublers and I have Bruno. Yeah, I wouldn't have Bruno. Not for game week 33. I'm glad he did, of course, but I don't know how Bruno got the assist. Because one defensive touch, then the ball went in. Like, okay, for people that don't understand how it's an assist, right? If Bruno crosses that, and Senesi has that one touch, and then Mbeumo scores, that's a Bruno assist. So it's exactly the same for an own goal, essentially. So if there's one defensive touch, and the ball's received in the box, there's no intended destination. I think I'm right on this. There's no intended destination. It doesn't matter. So one defensive touch, ball lands at Mbeumo's feet, Mbeumo scores, that's Bruno assist. In this case, swap Mbeumo for Hill. That's why Bruno gets the assist. You can, as always, right, you can not like how the assist rules work. You can complain to FPL. Don't complain to me because I don't care. But outside of that, by the rules, it's an assist. And it's a pretty clear assist as well. There's not really any debate about it. It's a clear assist. It's like the discourse with Saka 2 assists versus Wolves. Well, I got confused about the Saka one at the time. But yes, that's how I know more now that this is a definite assist because of that Saka one. Your Chelsea picks for potential Chelsea double. João Pedro, Palmer, Enzo, and Cucurella probably would be three of those four if you're going to pick three. You don't have to pick three Chelsea, of course, but they're the only ones I would look at. Palmer, Enzo, João Pedro, and Cucurella, I think. Now, Fofana will play a lot of games, but can he stay fit? That's always my worry. Gusto maybe outside chance because of James's hamstring problem. It's never universal. That's my only issue. Yeah, but most people have an issue with the assist because they don't understand the rules. Now, the rules could maybe be clearer. I get that. But most of the time when people say, well, why is that an assist when this is an assist? It's because they just don't understand the rules. Chelsea are awful. Yeah, again, you don't have to pick three players, but if you're going to pick three, they're the four I'd be looking at. I think people are confused with the rule saying 2 defensive touches should not be in it. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. The Hill goal is not a defensive touch, essentially. That's why. All right. I think we've figured out the Bruno assist. Anyone that still thinks it's not an assist, he can't help them at this point. Missed the deadline because of fever. Still 5 short of safety with 7 players and got 4 transfers down. I mean, being 5 points down with 7 players, not bad, to be honest. Hope you're feeling better, by the way. Would you take Bruno G at Man United? Yes. I mean, depending on the price and stuff, but yeah. I think so. I mean, Man United need midfielders, right? So the intended destination target bit is out. That doesn't matter when the ball's received in the box. That only matters when the ball's received outside of the box. Rodgers given an assist for his shot, which was saved. Not complaining, but could it be taken off him? No, that's, again, clear FPL. I mean, that's a bit like a shot rebound being an assist has been an assist for as long as I can remember, to be honest. My favourite Man United player right now, Bruno. Ever, Rooney. So if it takes a touch from an assist but still goes to the intended destination, that's an assist. I only count. No. So again, intended destination only matters if the ball is received in the box. You can tell what type of stream this is going to be. Did I miss the boat on Gordon, or is he still a good transfer? He's still a really good transfer. I think Gordon, like, look, you never know exactly what's going to happen for the rest of the season, but I think Gordon is someone you could put in this week and he's just in your team for the rest of the season. Now, he probably will blank in 34, but if you've got a free hit, it doesn't matter, right? Should we look to roll this week if there's nothing inherently wrong with our teams? I mean, sure. There's never, like, if you can roll, then great. Is Rooney better than Neymar? Yeah, of course. I know Casemiro is off in the summer, but he's been so good. Surely they should look at ways to keep him. Nah, I think it's a good time to go for all parties, really. He's on huge wages. And I think one of the reasons he's playing really well at the moment is because he's only having to play once a week. Next year, it's looking quite likely. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but it's looking quite likely Man United to be in Champions League. They need to get more midfielders in. They need to get Casemiro's wages off the wage bill. And I know he's been playing really well, but sometimes you just got to let players go, you know? And I think it's a good time to say thank you for your service. Thanks for this season. Thanks for helping us get back into Champions League. Thanks for all the goals. But you got to go. Really wanted Wilson or Gordon, but my midfield was Shard, Dango, Bruno, Rodgers, Tavernier, so I didn't buy that. I mean, fair enough. I mean, you got a bit unlucky, right, with Tavernier. And probably a little bit unlucky with Dango as well. Man United should look to get Elliot Anderson. It sounds quite like he's going to probably go to Man City, but we'll see. I got no idea who Man United are going to sign, to be honest with you. I'm kind of looking forward to who they do. I mean, they need another midfielder as well. So they don't just need a Casemiro replacement. They probably need another midfielder on top of that. Because once you're past Mainu and Casemiro, there's not really much else there. Like Ugarte, I think will just go. I feel like there's a player that I'm missing in midfield, but I don't think so. I don't think there is anyone else. Bruno Fernandes is talking to Arsenal. Come on. Garner and Tonali. I mean, getting Garner back would be a bit annoying though, wouldn't it? But yeah, he has been playing really well. United don't need to free up Casemiro. I mean, it would really help freeing up his wages, I think. Do you think that Palmer to United talking about... Nah, Palmer's not coming to Man United, honestly. Not anytime soon. Mason Mount, true, but I think he's more of a 10, right? He's more likely to play 10 or kind of out wide than as like a central midfielder. How much will O'Reilly be next season as a midfielder? 6.57 million. I don't know if he'll definitely be a midfielder. A lot of that will probably depend on where he plays the next for the remaining games, but he could be. Yeah, maybe 6.5, something like that. Like for a player like that, they won't go too high with him because chances are he just won't keep playing every week. Would you start thinking about removing Ekatike now Isak is due back after the internationals? I think that's one to monitor. Now, I think because of Isak just over this season not playing very much, then getting injured, chance of him coming straight back and having a massive impact on Ekatike's minutes, I think is low, but it will have some impact. So I wouldn't rule Ekatike out, but it might become more of a worry. I'll definitely consider Brighton players if they double. Van Heck, Verbruggen, Welbeck, Gross, maybe. If Chelsea don't get Champions League, maybe Palmer comes... the thing is, whether you go for Palmer really depends on what you do with Bruno, right? If you keep Bruno, you don't buy Palmer as well. Now, I know teams need squad depth, etc., but I don't think Palmer and Bruno can play in the same team, unless Palmer's going to go and play on the right, but then that means you're already getting Mbeumo and Ahmad to the bench. Because I don't think long-term Mbeumo is going to be a number 9 for Man United, really. Kelleher saving my week. Yeah, that was a disastrous 0-0. Issue with Ekatike is Liverpool's schedule around the Fulham game. Yeah, I know. He could get arrested for that match. I've thought about that already because Slot said that Isak will be back for the PSG game, right? Or be available. So if he gets like 10 minutes off the bench, could he start against Fulham? And even if not, right, Ekatike might just get benched and Gakpo plays through the middle or something like that. No, I do not see Palmer to Man United at all. Man United have got bigger problems than buying Palmer, to be honest. Tom, 44 months. Will you be doing a wildcard video over the coming week? Yes, but it's going to come with a lot of caveats, being that until those FA Cup games are done, like basically it's going to start off by saying this is a really early look at wildcard. This video is almost useless until the FA Cup games are played, something like that. But I have thought a little bit about wildcard. The problem is as well is like it's not only just what will the fixtures actually be, but it's also specifics on players. I'm not even I think on the recent draft I've done for Man City, it's got no Semenyo. But if Man City win, do I really see myself going out without Semenyo? Not sure. Yeah, Palmer apparently was a Man United fan. Yeah, maybe still is. But I still just don't see it happening. We'll have to forget about FPL for 2 weeks. Honestly, I'd highly recommend it. Forget about FPL for a couple of weeks. But the nice thing is, once this break is done, that is it then, I think. So Friday, Saturday, Friday. Yeah, there's no more breaks after this. It's just every week. And there's no more midweek deadlines either. Although there will be some midweek matches for the double game weeks. But otherwise, it's just 3-week break and then back to it every week to the end of the season. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. Plus, there's chips to be played, blanks, doubles. So I'm going to really enjoy the break. Honestly, I will barely be thinking about FPL for the next couple of weeks. Will I have Haaland if you're bench? Like, if Haaland doubles in 33, I will 100% have him, and he'll probably be the captain as well. Could you please tell me if we know any... Yeah, we don't... Again, we don't know anything about doubles yet. As in, like, nothing's 100% confirmed. You need the FA Cup games to be played. You've got international matches before that. December and game week 30 to 38 is always peak FPL. Yeah, agreed. Have you ever been this high, this close to the end of FPL? I was 600 in the world once, but I don't know how early that was. Do you watch Baller League? No, not really. I think I'm probably a bit too old for that, I would say. I don't think I'm the age demographic they're aiming at. Can Villa double if they reach the Europa League final? I think they can double even if they reach the semi-final. But I believe, and I could be wrong on this, you want to go and check with Ben Crellin, etc. I think it also needs Liverpool to get to the FA Cup final. But I might be wrong. Welbeck should be in the England squad. I mean, there is an argument, given that Calvert-Lewin and Solanke in particular, been injured for so much of this season. There is an argument. But for what it's worth, I think there's a... I don't think it will happen, but I think there's a chance he doesn't take any of the backup number 9s. I think there's a chance he just... Is the squad 23 or 26? If it's 26, I think he'll take a second number 9. If it's 23, I wonder if he might just say, Kane's my main man, and if I need to play someone else, I've got like Gordon or someone like that that can just play there. Okay, it's 26, so maybe he will then. I don't know who he takes, though. Genuinely got no idea. Watkins has been pretty poor, although he's done okay in the last couple of games. Solanke's been injured for ages. Welbeck, I mean, nothing bad to say about him, but it's not like, I don't know, there's just, outside of Harry Kane, there's just a lot of uninspiring forwards, really. I mean, it's a little bit unfair on them because Kane is just one of the best players in the world, right? A bit early, but will you play World Cup Fantasy? Look, at this time of year, and especially in a few weeks, people always ask me that question when it's a international tournament, summer. My initial instinct is always to say no. Like every time someone asks me, I'm like, no, I'm not playing this year. And then it gets closer and closer, and then I start to think about it. Ivan Toney's he's not even been called up to a 35-man squad, so he ain't getting in, I would say. Presumably, any player that's not been called up to this squad's not getting in. Trent, etc. As a Spurs fan, we desperately needed this break. I mean, in some ways, yes, I get that point of view. But also now Spurs fans have got to stew on another loss all over the break. That's probably not great either. But maybe it'll be good for the players just to forget about it and go and play internationals and stuff. Eze's not travelling with the England squad. He's going to have scans. Yeah, Harvey Barnes has been called up to the squad instead of Eze. Thoughts on no Haaland for Wildcard 32 in order to chase points? If City double, it feels like a battle not worth taking on, to be honest. Who makes top 10 for you? For what? Sorry. Spurs fixtures are not bad. Are there any players worth selecting? Probably not, I would say. Tuchel surely has a personal problem with Trent because no way Spence get... Yeah, it's a bit of a weird... I think Spence can play both sides. That's maybe why he's being looked at. I think it's also worth not getting too worried about who has been called up because a lot of these players are going to get cut, right? Like 9 of those players called up are not going, sorry. What about Saka for game week 33? I'm not against it, but I think it's difficult to have Palmer, Saka and Haaland. You got to drop one. I'm pretty sure Saka is the one that I would drop. I do kind of wish Trent was picked in this squad, but it's pretty clear he's just not going to get used. Kelleher, I think, got an extra bonus point, so he's up to 9. How is Bruno having 26 points for you and 13 for me? I captained him. If you captain him as well, then you're probably looking at the app, and the app's probably wrong because it ain't great. Foden being called up is crazy, seeing as he sits on the bench for most weeks. Look, we probably shouldn't get into too much England chat right now, but I don't necessarily subscribe to you have to always be playing to make a squad. I know that's what people always say. It's about form. It's about who's playing, and it is important, right? Tuchel spoke about that himself. But if you're a good player, you're a good player. And again, it's a 35-man squad. A lot of these players are going to get dropped. So Foden might not even make it, right? You might just want to look at Foden again. Oh, who do you think is England's starting number 10 at the World Cup? I suspect it will end up just being Bellingham, but I'm not as confident as I would have been under Southgate. Because Rodgers has done well, and I don't think Tuchel's afraid to make a decision like that. Are wildcard and free hit the most valuable remaining chips? Yeah, they always are. I'm worried about keeping Van Dijk going forward. I'm not really, to be honest. I mean, if Liverpool don't double, then maybe I'll get rid. I completely disagree with your Casemiro take. United need to keep him and add 2 more midfielders. I can't stand listening to United fans going on about player wages. Are you an accountant or a fan? The funny thing is, people say stuff like that, right? It's not your money, so what do you care? And then teams go out and make stupid... I'm not saying Casemiro is a stupid purchase, right? But they go out and sign players for lots of money, put them on huge wages, and then later on, they can't make a signing because they've spent huge wages. Then fans moan they've not made a signing. And then when you say, well, you probably need to get the wages up, what, are you an accountant? And it's just like a never-ending cycle. You make bad decisions on wages that affects you later on. So, am I an accountant? No. I just make FPL content and I'm an idiot. But do I think Casemiro at his age, bearing in mind we're going to be playing way more matches next year, he's on huge wages, yes, I think it's a good time for him to go. I mean, right now, this is maybe a bad analogy. I mean, Salah just got a huge contract last year. Do you think if they could go back in time, they would still do it? Maybe. Maybe not. Good job I'm an accountant as well as a Man United fan. I wish I was an accountant, but I wouldn't have to pay an accountant. Wildcard, then bench boost most powerful. Bench boost is not as powerful as a free hit. Are there any rules on him taking a pay cut? No, you can give a player a new contract and reduce their wages, right? They can make signings regardless. Again, this is something people say. Man United make loads of money, they can make signings, but they haven't done that, right? There's been a few times recently where they've not been able to make the signings because of money. Essentially, every decision you make on a player has an impact on what you do in the future. I think it's a good time for Casemiro to go. He'll be another year older, etc. Like I said earlier, thank you for your time. Thanks for everything this season. Thanks for helping us get back in Champions League. Shake hands. Good servant to the club. Loved having you here. And now it's okay that you're going. Barcelona had players like Piqué taking massive cuts a few years back just to survive. Yeah. I mean, Man United do make a lot of money, right? I'm really not disagreeing with that, but it doesn't mean that you should definitely keep a player when it's not the... I just think it's the right call for him to go now. You got to be really careful. Like, the thing is, the decision was made. Now people are backtracking because he scored a few goals. He's not just the goals, right? He has played well, but I don't think that's how you can run a club. You can't now change your mind on a decision like that. Yeah, look, it's an FPL channel. I don't want to get into any more Man United chat. It's absolutely fine. If you think Casemiro should stay, that's cool. I think it's pretty good time for him to go. Do I think any manager gets sacked over the break? I mean, Igor Tudor, surely goes. Anyone else? I don't see it. People keep talking about Slot going. Slot's not going before the end of the season. I don't think he'll be here next year, but I don't think he goes over the summer. I wonder what Daniel Levy is thinking now. I know he goes and the whole club just goes to pot. Oh, Rossini is not a bad shout. Yeah, I don't think Chelsea will let him go though. I think they'll wait till the summer now. Because top 5 still absolutely on. It's not like Chelsea are already out of Champions League. It's just FA Cup of top 5 now. I don't think Rossini goes. I don't think Eddie Howe goes either. I think if these managers are going to go, it'll all be in the summer. I know Newcastle aren't Sunderland have just overtaken Newcastle, so it's not great. I think they're outside the top 10 still. I don't think they'll let Eddie Howe go. Arteta, yeah. Do I think West Ham will stay up? I think the Forest result today was not good at all. I mean, West Ham probably most likely to go down now. I kind of hope they stay up, but the problem is when you say that, that means you're almost hoping for another team to go down. I mean, it would be quite funny if Spurs go down. Who do I want as permanent United manager? After I've just said no more Man United chat. Luis Enrique would be good. I don't know how realistic that is, though, to be honest. I don't want Rosenior to go. I like personalities in the league. I do think overall people have been a bit harsh on Rosenior and what he says, but the other day about the huddle and the respect the ball, I mean, that's kind of lost me at that point. But in general, I don't think he's a bad guy or anything. And I think he has been it's been a bit harsh, the amount of pile-on, like, in general. But yeah, I think he'll be here till the summer anyway. West Ham's attack looks rubbish without Somerville. For a team like West Ham, this international break is probably quite good for them. Because you got not 3 weeks off because they got FA Cup. But you know what I mean? There's a long time to the next Premier League game. None of us are ready to believe Spurs are going to go down, but truthfully, they're the second worst team in the league after Burnley. I'm kind of with you, right? It still doesn't feel realistic that Spurs will go down, but like they generally are just awful. It's absolutely possible. Have I locked in my team? Only 452 hours, 56 minutes left. Not quite. I'm getting close though. My current 11 for Game Week 32 is quite strong. Do I still need to opt for Wildcard 32 and Bench Boost 33? No, not if you don't want to. The Bench Boost won't look quite as good if you do it later, but it's not awful. Do you talk/debate football on your Twitch stream since you're not too keen on it here? No, I don't really do Twitch streams, to be honest. I don't think I've got it in me to stream about football. I don't think I can hack it. I get it's not really the time to ask, but after tonight's performance, should I start O'Reilly over Chow? I mean, arguably, yes, just because you know O'Reilly's probably quite likely to start, and there's probably more doubts on Chow right now. But if we think that Chow starts, like, let's say, I think Botman was just a concussion sub, so he'd probably be fine. But if we think Chow starts, he probably is just about better. Like, a little bit. What happens if City go through? What happens if Liverpool... Yeah, so basically, if City win, City and Burnley will probably double in 33. If Liverpool win, it'll probably be Liverpool and Palace. Well, it'll be Liverpool and Palace probably double in 33. How many doublers do you plan to bench boost in 33? I would say 13. Like, in total, so 2 on the bench. Maybe a full bench of double game weekers, but that depends, really. The wildcard draft I'm going to talk about this week on a video has 15, but I'm not sure I'm completely happy with the team, but it's just like a base to talk about how it's possible, I think. Fleming is a pick for wildcard. He's not in the current draft, but I don't hate it. Cheap, probably plays both. Penalties, I believe. Any reason why Dango was benched? I think Keith Andrews said something about him having a disrupted, like, run up to the game or something. So Liverpool or City will definitely double in 33. No, not definitely. I mean, if Liverpool win, I'm pretty sure Liverpool and Palace has to go to 33 because Palace is still in Europe. But if City win, it's not guaranteed. Like, the thing to take away from this stream is nothing's 100% guaranteed about these doubles until it's locked in. 15 doublers, your confidence in Chelsea is appreciated. I will always try and go all in on double game weeks where possible. Like, there's sometimes you have like Burnley that are doubling or something like that, and you don't want to have 3. But most of the time, if it's a good enough team with good enough options, I will try and go all in. And I think the thing that actually makes me want to wildcard a bit more is because a lot of the players and teams we're looking to pick from, people will be a little bit down on them. Like try and convince someone right now to pick Chelsea players. They're not having any of it. So why not go for 3 because they got doubles? Brighton players who most of us have not had for most of this season. I mean, it's a little bit easier to pick Welbeck now because he's just scored twice. But they're not a team that a lot of people have been targeting. Why not just go for a few on wildcard? Is anyone guaranteed on your wild card? Bruno Fernandes, Anthony Gordon. Guaranteed. As long as they're fit. If Ekatike's out injured, who should I replace him with? I mean, Arne Slot said after the game that he'd be ready to play. So the game was yesterday. He said he's ready to play tomorrow if needed. It was just a dead leg. So he's going to be fine in 3 weeks' time. Yeah, Gross, not a bad option either. Oh, good question. If someone offered you 750 overall rank as your final finishing place right now, would you take it or gamble for a higher rank? I'd have to take it because it would be my first ever top 1k finish. So I think I'd have to take it. And like you've seen recently, right, I got a couple of red arrows in a row outside the top 1k. It can quickly go downhill. And also there's a lot of doubles and chips to be played. So there is part of me thinking that I could go higher, but I could absolutely just fall down quickly. How would you rate Wildcard 33, free hit 34, bench boost 36 strategy? I don't see why you would wildcard in 33 to bench boost in 36 instead of wild. Like, I think to do that, your team in 32 has to be so, so good. And if it's not in any way perfect, you just wildcard 32 and bench boost in 33 instead, surely. Gabriel's not guaranteed. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Did you see the stat where Chelsea have been outrun in every game this season? I did, but like again, I think these stats are being thrown around at the moment. I saw someone, because Liverpool have got something, like not every game, but there's a stat going around that Liverpool have been outrun in most games. And I saw someone say that when they won the league last, or maybe it was the 2018-19 season, I can't remember, they were also outrun in most games. So how much does that really matter? I don't know. I mean, surely this is a bit like the Haaland's not scored in the finals. Surely most big teams, a lot of the time, do less running because they got more of the ball, no? Or is that just nonsense? I feel like Man City are probably outrun quite a lot, or it must be close because they've just got the ball a lot, right? So they have to do less running. Now, I'm not saying Chelsea and Liverpool are dominating the ball by the way, but that can be a reason for some teams, surely. Have you talked about Chow? Are him, Burn, and Botman now in a void? I would go for Lewis Hall right now. Like right now, if I had to pick one, I'd go for Lewis Hall. Put it that way. Alison Becker has tweeted that he's out for some time. Is Mamadashvili a pick? Depends how long he's out for. We'd have to wait to see what Slot says. Like, there's just, like, at this point, with so many doubles and blanks and stuff like that to worry about, I'm not going to go for a pick that could be replaced in a few weeks. Just not worth it. Like, if Allison was out for the rest of the season and Liverpool doubled, then yeah, maybe. But I don't think he will be. I have no wildcard and I'm planning to free hit in the double and aiming to keep transfer and get a team playing in 34. That's the best strategy. I suspect it depends on your team right now. Depends how many double game weekers you've already got. If you've already got like 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever, then you should probably free hit in the blank instead. Personally, from an FPL point of view, are you rooting for City or Liverpool to win in the FA Cup? Liverpool. Is this the longest gap there's ever been between one game week and the next? There's a pretty big gap between game week 38 and game week 1. How many hits are worth it in 30? Again, like, that's not a black and white question, right? How many hits do you need? Wanted a second Newcastle defender to go along with Hall, but that looks difficult. Yeah, the thing is, it's one of those annoying situations where I'm fairly sure Chow will just go back into the team and play most games, but because there's the doubt there now, it's just probably not worth going for. Will I keep Harry Wilson on wildcard? Almost certainly not, even though he has been really good. And his 33 and 34 fixtures are not that bad, but I'd probably not. Someone keeps spamming something about Solanke and anime celebration. I've got no idea what it's on about, but like they must have put it in the chat about 20 times. Just get Ramsdale a second Newcastle. Nah, I'm not going to risk that. I mean, again, Ramsdale probably keeps starting, but would it be a complete shock if Pope came in at some point? It's just not worth it. Do I free hit game week 34? Maybe. I think for people without wildcard, free hit 34 is probably better than 33. But it will depend on how many doublers you've already got. Anderson's first half DEFCON has made me want him as a bench option / starter. He's pretty nice, yeah, for the price. He's also got Burnley at home in 33. Or Lewis Hall or O'Reilly for England. I think Lewis Hall for left back. But I'm not against taking O'Reilly as well. And I think the fact that he can play in midfield might be what gets him in the squad. I need to. The thing is, these questions are always okay. So that's one or the other, right? But whether to take both of them, I would need to think about the overall squad to see how many spots are free, right? Because probably 15 to 18 are just obvious, and then it's the rest after that. Because with fullbacks, like with Reece James, you have to take cover for him. Right, so Livramento probably gets in because he can play both sides. So if he can play both sides and you've got Lewis Hall, do you also need O'Reilly? Hard to know, right? But I think I just about prefer Lewis Hall, but I don't think it's a definite. I did think Lewis Hall was lot, but I admit it's probably just the 2 goals now playing on my mind. But O'Reilly has been quite good. I want Kane to rip it up in the World Cup so he gets the very much deserved Ballon d'Or shot. Yeah, I mean, World Cup win would be nice, wouldn't it? I don't really care who wins the Champions League as long as it's not Arsenal. But I kind of want Harry Kane to score the winner against Arsenal in the final. Because you've got the Spurs factor. You've got Kane getting a huge trophy. And then I want him to go and win the World Cup as well. Because, of course I do. What was Sunderland playing at for the Gordon goal? I mean, it was just a moment of madness, wasn't it? You want Kane to go to Barcelona this summer? I don't think that's going to happen at all. Unless I've missed something. Yeah, we're probably not winning the World Cup, but it's always nice to dream, right? Be boring otherwise. Like I'd be more confident of us having a chance at the Euros, to be honest. It's like it's a home tournament. You haven't got the heat. I'm actually not that confident about the World Cup this time around. I think the heat is going to be a pretty big factor. But why not dream? Why not dream? All I know is it'll be a good summer. Be a good summer. Even better if they can win. Wildcard draft video, when can we expect it? Sometime this week. Although it's not going to be that useful until we know the results, to be honest. And I'm going to make that very clear at the start of the video. I've put together a couple of quick drafts. They could easily change. You don't think it's obvious O'Reilly goes to the World Cup, but Livramento does? What? Yeah, I mean, what do you disagree with from what I said? I said the reasons why I think Livramento might go. What about what I said do you disagree with? Kane should be Chelsea's #1 target. Yeah, okay. I mean, Kane ain't leaving Bayern, right? He's been linked with Lewandowski leaving and having a release clause with a year left on his deal. But yeah, I think Bayern will just sign him up probably. I don't know. Maybe not. Is it time to get rid of Thiago with the fixtures coming up? The fixtures aren't that bad, are they? I just realised I've been listening to Phoenix the whole time. I can't change. Oh yeah, there you go. This is my team for next week, by the way. I mean, I know what people are going to say. It doesn't need a wild card. I'm kind of in agreement, but it doesn't need a wild card. But I've got Mbermo playing. He's not been great. Wilson playing Liverpool away. Ekitike, would he definitely start? Can we ditch It's Coming Home? No. Hell no. It's a great song. Harry Kane or Troy Parrott? Definitely Harry Kane, but I hope Troy Parrott does the business for Ireland. Nobody is definitely doubling. It's dependent on who wins in the next round of the FA Cup, which means Chelsea are almost certain to. Yeah, but even then, they're not certain to. The game could just stay in game week 34. Do I think Harry Kane could play at a high level into his late 30s? He seems to just keep getting better. Zlatan vibes. I mean, potentially, but this is always the balance you have to strike. This is similar to the Casemiro conversation, right? Because Casemiro is playing one game a week and playing really well. All of a sudden now, people want, not all of a sudden, right? Some people might have just never wanted him to go, but it's like, okay, now you've got to give him a new deal. So Kane is playing great. But he's also getting older, and age catches up to everyone. I mean, look at Salah, right? Salah gets a new deal, best player in the world, blah, blah, blah. Maybe not best player in the world, but whatever. He had an amazing season. This year, nowhere near as good. So you've always got to be careful. Like, I know you're not asking about contracts and stuff, but that's the thing with Kane, right? You've got to be absolutely sure he is going to continue to play at this level if you're going to give him a ton of money to move. Or a ton of money to sign for a few more years, because it could just drop off. I hope it doesn't, because I think Kane's a great player, and the fact he's like, I would love for Kane to just keep playing as well as he is now for another couple of years, because I really want him to play at the Euros as well as he's playing right now, because I think the Euros is more realistic for England to win than the World Cup. But will it happen? Don't know. Kane's game doesn't depend on pace / physicality. Yeah, the pace thing's probably fair. Zlatan won't appreciate you comparing him to Kane. I mean, Kane's better, right? I should really stop listening to Phoenix, I think. How many goals do you think Welbeck will score for the rest of the season? Probably like 3 or 4. Probably not as many as you're hoping for. Maybe even not that many. The day that will happen to... Yeah, exactly. It'll happen to Bruno as well. At some point, he just won't be as good as he is now. Like, he's one of the fittest players playing the game, right? He almost never misses a game. That will stop. It just... Age just catches up to you. It doesn't matter how, like, fit you are. You're not as fit at 40 as you are at 20, right? Or at least... Sorry, some people might be. But you know what I mean. You can't be as fit as you could be at 20. I tried to clarify what I meant, and I don't think I clarified it at all, but hopefully like you understand what I'm trying to say. Obviously, a person can be much fitter at 40 than they were at 20, but to be peak fit, you got to do it when you're younger. Absolute madness that England has the best squad on paper in the World Cup and isn't considered favourites to win. Shows you how Southgate has scarred the fan. Don't give me that Southgate nonsense. I mean, England probably are one of the favourites by the bookmakers. Nothing to do with Southgate at all. That's just Southgate's name just gets brought up any time. It's just the heat and stuff. I don't know how well they will cope with it. But of course, England have got a chance. They have to. They got one of the best managers at the tournament on paper and one of the best teams. So yeah, why not? Second favourites on most bookies. There you go. England were winning everything before Southgate. I know. I lost track of the amount of finals we got into before Southgate. Absolute nightmare. Brazil, Argentina. Do Brazil really have a better squad than England? I'd have to go and look at it, but my gut instinct is no chance. The thing that maybe lets England down is like centre backs potentially. Although they're not terrible. I think fullbacks, England looking good, especially if James can stay fit. Midfielders looking good. Attackers, I mean, come on. They're professional athletes. I don't want to hear that heat nonsense. But it does affect certain players, right? More than others, probably. Especially if you're used to it or not. You say it depends how many doublers you already have, but how do we know? Well, you don't know. But, like, I can tell you that Arsenal, Newcastle, quite likely to double. Chelsea, Brighton also quite likely to double, and then Man City and Burnley or Palace and Liverpool. But again, you won't know for sure until the FA Cup games are played. Like, if I could give you any advice, just relax about your decisions for a couple of weeks. Like, you do not need to make any decisions about your team right now. And I know what you're thinking. Well, why are you even streaming? I get it. This is pointless. We're all wasting our time here. But at least we've spoken about Casemiro and England. Brazil's squad is good. It's fullbacks they lack, but they have a lot. Yeah, again, I'm not saying Brazil's squad is bad. I would have to go and look at it because off the top of my head, I'm trying to think who's even in that squad. Obviously, Vinicius, great. Alisson, great. Bruno Guimaraes, good. Great. Maybe great. Anyway, whatever. I'm just saying, like, instinct is it's not better than England's squad. That's all I'm saying. Spain favorite. Yeah, of course. Freaking Spain. How's your copycat doing? I actually don't know. I almost didn't want to check because I've got a bad feeling they might be ahead now because they had Dango, but then Dango didn't start this week, so they might be back below. I'm going to check now. France squad is better than England's. Yeah, possibly. Again, I don't... Yeah, I think England have got a good chance. I just don't think they will end up winning it, unfortunately. But not the... sorry, football's difficult. It's difficult to win. So my copier... By the way, I should say, I don't know for sure they were copying me. It's just a big coincidence, some of their transfers. They scored 59 points this week. I scored 67. But last week, they got 59. Oh, they did the Salah Ekitike swap. They did it as well. So they're behind still because I had Harry Wilson instead of Dango. Yeah, they're behind. They did the Salah and Ekitike swap. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. So they're a little bit behind me now. Oh, their overall rank is 3K. Mine is... Well, on the FPL site, mine's 1K. So they've fallen 2,000 places behind me. And my score was better this week. So they'll be even further behind now. England might not win. Like, the thing is, obviously, once it starts up, the hope will get bigger. Always happens, right? The closer the sun starts shining, the beer starts flowing, It's Coming Home comes on. You know, the dream start. Who cares? Why is it? It's always such a bad thing to dream, right? Of course, but we probably won't win. It's difficult to win a tournament. You know, how many times did it take Pep Guardiola to win the Champions League with City? It was like 7 times, right? Southgate didn't get 7 tournaments. Maybe he would have won it if he did. You never know. Anyway, it's difficult to win a tournament. If England don't win, it doesn't mean like there's some massive bottle jobs, failures, etc. It depends how it happens, of course, but there's lots of good teams. So England might not win. But you know what? I'm going to enjoy it anyway, no matter what happens. Unless we go out in the group stages, in which case we're done. It's Coming Home playing even in Galway. In my house it will be. Or in my headphones. In my headphones. Probably not in Galway. Is this your full-time job? I hope so. Spain are favourites, yet they're like 7-1 to win. Nobody is clear-cut to win. Yeah, because there's lots of good teams and squads out there, right? And ultimately, like, having a great squad obviously does matter, but most teams are going to play a lot of the same players in most games, right? So the 11 also matters a lot. I have a feeling Tuchel will do worse than South. I mean, to be honest, it would be difficult for Tuchel to do better than Southgate. No matter what you think of Southgate, no matter what you think of the run that England had, etc., he got to a couple of finals in the last three tournaments. It's going to be difficult for Tuchel to do better. Like, he'd have to win. So, I mean, it doesn't matter to me, but yeah, people will be bashing him no matter what, I think. That's the problem. There's just a lot of England fans. They're just ready to, like, put the boot in as soon as possible instead of just enjoying it. Of course, we want to win the trophy, of course, but it's difficult. It goes down to fine margins. You think of that Italy final. Rashford sends Donnarumma the wrong way and misses. Scores that. Southgate could have had a tournament and be, you know, regarded as one of the best managers ever. I'm not putting it all on Rashford, by the way, because we could have made changes during the game, could have won it, blah, blah, blah. But you know what I mean? It's fine margins sometimes. Anyway. Tuchel hasn't been really tested. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. See what happens. Annoy the neighbours with a bit of lightning seeds and go away. I would never do that. I'm respectful to my the country I live in. Surprised you're still streaming, been over an hour. Yeah, don't know why really. It's, especially on a week where like the FPL chat is just kind of pointless. Almost. Right. I'm off, I think. Thanks for joining me. Make sure to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. Good luck. I would say good luck with your decisions. Again, don't make any decisions. It's absolutely pointless. Just wait until the FA Cup games are done. And then you can start making some really big decisions. We can start talking properly about chips and stuff like that. Oh, World Cup tomorrow. What's my starting 11? Okay, Pickford. Well, James is injured, right? But let's say he's fit. Pickford, James, Stones, Gay. Stones is a difficult one. Stones, Maguire, Konza. I'm going to say Stones. We'll just assume everyone's fit. Gay, Lewis Hall, Anderson, Rice, Bellingham, Saka, Gordon, Kane. There you go. Right, I'm off. I'm going to go now because otherwise everyone's going to... everyone's just going to say, that's the wrong team. You should go for this team. That's fine. You can have your own team. I'm not manager. It doesn't matter. He's not going to pick that team anyway. Bye. See ya. See ya sometime. Couple of times this week and then not for a couple of weeks, I would say. Bye, 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 bye.